Here we are. So here are the answers. Let me show the answers to make it easier. Okay. So now we're going to do exercise C when we get back. It's the use of can. We use can to express things that you're allowed to do. I mean, for example, I can mail a letter at a post office. What else can you do at the post office? What else can you do at a post office? You can pick up packages. You can mail packages. What else? Buy stamps, buy boxes, tape, etc. Okay. You can rent a mailbox, etc. Now, okay, so think about this activity. Think about what things you can do at a drugstore, things you can do at a jewelry store, things you can do at a library, at a parking lot. I already gave you the post office. Things you can do at the supermarket. And then when we get back, we're gonna practice it orally in class. All right. So let's move on to let's turn to page 57. On page 57, we have more prepositions. This time, prepositions to talk about the city, places in the community. All right, so here we are. We already on, in, next to, between, behind, in front of. We know that, right? But be careful. Here we have some locations. Let's take a look at this one. Let me see if I can just make it look bigger. Okay. So when we're talking about streets and giving, locations in the community, the use of on is different. We use on when we're using a street name, only the street name. Okay. If you say the drugstore is on Park Avenue, you see it's on Park Avenue. That's where the drugstore is. That's it. You're not being specific about the house number. No, just on Park Street. For example, my house is on 27th Avenue, period. Just the avenue, just the street. That would do. Now, where is Jenny? Look at Jenny, this tiny little person over here. She is in the drugstore. That means inside the drugstore. You already know that. Now, where is the drugstore? The drugstore is next to the post office. You see, next to the post office. But it is also between the post office and the bank, right? Between. Now, the bank is on the corner of Park Avenue and South Street. So when you use on the corner of, you have to use two streets, right? This street and this street. And you say on the corner of. Number 6, the drugstore is across from the library. Okay, the libraries, the drugstore is across from the library. And the mailbox is in front of the post office. Be careful here. Across from means you have to cross the street from that place. In front of, it means it is right there on the sidewalk. You see here, you have the mailbox here, and the post office is right here. So you don't have to cross the street. Negative, right? The park is across from the post office, but the mailbox is not. Let me put it here. Okay. repeat. The park is across from the post office, but the mailbox is not. The mailbox is in front of the post office. See the difference between in front of and across? All right. Now, let's do exercise B. You're gonna read the sentences and write each location on the map. Exercise B. I'm gonna move it right here and then make it smaller. You're gonna read the sentences here. Like the laundromat is between the shoe store and the jewelry store, and you're gonna write a number. For example, the laundromat is between the shoe store and the jewelry store. Where's the jewelry store? Right here. Where's the shoe store? Right here. So this one is number 1. This one is number 1. That is the laundromat. And then you're gonna discover clues. You're gonna get more clues, and then you're gonna complete it. So we'll review it when we get back. All right. Here and here are the answers, right? The laundromat is here. Then we have the park. We have the bank here across from the park. We have the bus station. The bus station on the corner of Center Street and South Avenue. The diner is between the post office and the bank. So that's here. Number 5. The drugstore is next to the shoe store. So that's number 6, next to the shoe store. The police station is next to the bus station. So that's number 7 right here. The library is on Mountain Avenue next to the post office. So it's right here. Mountain Avenue next to the post office. And 9, the parking lot is behind the bus station. All right, great. Now let's move on. Let's turn to page 58. On 58, you're gonna complete the sentences about the map. Look where Jason is, Debbie, and all the places in the community. So you're gonna use only the prepositions. You're gonna use the prepositions only to complete the relationship between the library, for example, and the post office. So the library is next to the post office. Library is here, post office here. Okay, so let's do that. We can also complete exercise D when you finish that one. In this one, you have to complete the conversations about the map in exercise C in the previous activity. You completed. And then exercise E, we're going to do exercise E when we get back together, right? In pairs or groups, or depends. So here you are. Pause the video, do these 2 activities, and we'll be back with the answers. All right, so here we are. We're back here, and let me show you the answers. Show answers. So the library is next to the post office, as we said. The elementary school is across from City Hall. The drugstore is on the corner of Pine Avenue and Main Street. The parking lot is behind the library. The shoe store is between the donut shop and the laundromat. The mailbox is in front of the post office. Remember, not across from, it's in front of the post office. Jason is in the parking lot, and the donut shop is on Main Street. Remember, on, because it's only mentioned in the street where it is. All right, so back here. In exercise D, now if you complete the conversations about the map. In exercise C, here answers may vary, so that's why we're going to see that when we get back. in person, because you may all have different answers here. All right. So um, now let's turn to page 59. On page 59, we're going to do exercise G. All right, so we're going to read the location of each store or building on Elwood Street and write the name of each place right here, okay? So you read here, exercise 1. Let me do this exercise for you. Start with it so I can give you an example. So you say the post office is on Elwood Street across from the supermarket. You have the supermarket here. Sorry. You have the supermarket here. And then it says that the post office is on this street, on Elwood Street, across from the supermarket. So here it is. This is the one. The second one, there is a bank between the post office and the bus station. There is a bank between the post office and the bus station, so that means the bus station is here, right? This is the bus station. And then you continue. You have clues here. You already started one, so you continue using the prepositions. You complete it. We're going to see that in a few minutes when we get back. All right. So pause the video, answer the question, answer the activity, and then when we get back, you'll have the answers. Here we go. Here are the answers to this riddle here. All right, so we have police station here. Next to the police station, we have the laundromat. Then we have the high school. Across from the high school, we have the diner. Next to the diner, the bus stop or bus station. Then the bank, post office, jewelry store, shoe store. Across from the shoe store, we have the library. And then next, we have the barber shop next to the supermarket. Now we're moving on to the second part on the next page, on page 60. We have, a listening activity. For this listening activity, you're gonna need to look at the map. But before that, let's take a look at some 2 words here of interest. So we have neighbor. A neighbor is a person who lives near you, and neighborhood is the area where you live. Okay, if you live in a neighborhood, in a small neighborhood, anybody who lives there is your neighbor. That's why it is called, and the area is called neighborhood. Now, study this map. Over here, you see you have a laundromat on the corner of 2nd and Pine. There's a bus stop over here. So building 232 and 234 are next to each other. The parking lot is just behind the buildings. Then we have a supermarket, which is on the corner of 3rd and Pine. And this is something, there's a park here next to this building. We'll see what this building is later in the listening activity. We have a drugstore, then there's a cafe, and then the entrance is right here. So like right around the corner from that cafe, we have a Chinese restaurant, and across from that we have probably a Mexican restaurant. Okay, that said, let's take a look at this one. Read these sentences before we play the audio. You may want to pause the video, read the sentences, and then you have to choose true or false based on the story. So here we go.
My name is Magda Santos. I live in an apartment building on Pine Street between 2nd Street and 3rd Street. My address is 232 Pine Street, apartment 4G. My apartment is on the 4th floor. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with my husband and my 2 daughters. My sister lives in the next building at 234 Pine Street. She's in apartment 3A. I like my apartment and my neighborhood. The elementary school is very near my building. It's across the street on the corner of Pine Street and 3rd Street. My daughters can walk to school. There's a small park next to the school. My daughters play there on Saturdays and Sundays. The grocery store is on the corner of Pine and 3rd Street. There's a coffee shop across the street from our apartment buildings. Sometimes my sister and I get a cup of coffee and sit and talk. My building doesn't have a laundry room, but that isn't a problem. There is a laundromat next to our apartment building. There are many restaurants in the neighborhood: Mexican, Italian, Chinese, and Indian. I like to try different kinds of food. There are 2 parking lots behind the apartment buildings. Each apartment gets only 1 space. My husband takes the bus to work. The bus stop is on the corner of Pine and 2nd Street, in front of the laundromat. Sometimes Pine Street is busy and noisy and there is a lot of traffic. But that's okay. Everything is convenient and the neighbors are friendly.
Okay. So we're gonna pause the video, and once you finish, we'll see the answers. So here we go. Here we are checking. Let's go here. Let me show you the answers. So Magda lives at 232 Pine Street. That is true. She lives in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's false. She has 2 children. That is true. Her sister lives in the same building. False. There's a laundry room on the 1st floor of the building. False. Her husband drives to work. False. Magda lives in a busy neighborhood. True. The neighbors are friendly. True. Now turn to page 61. On page 61, you're going to be using the prepositions to complete these sentences based on Magda's neighborhood. You already have the map that you can look at. This map here to complete the sentences. So you pause the video right now, and then we can do something different this time. We are you're going to complete that one. Then you're going to do exercise D. Again, we're using can. For example, it says plus the verbs in this list over here in the box. You can say, it says my husband blank the bus on the corner. So my husband can get the bus on the corner because there is a bus stop on the corner, right? So you continue and complete this one. And after that, we'll see the answers for exercises C and D.